Hello, class. It's Miss Shoemaker again. Can you guess what we're going to discuss today in science class based on the two photos that you just saw? Did anyone say bats? Because we are talking about bats today. Now we're going to look at a photo and discuss some of the bat's key features.
What's the first thing you notice when you look at this picture? I notice that a bat looks very similar to a bird. Now, is a bat actually a bird? What do you think? Bats are not birds. Bats are mammals. They give birth to live young, they have hair, and are warm-blooded. Now, bats are actually the only mammal that can fly. Now look at this photo of the bat's wing. It looks almost as though it's a human arm. It has an upper arm, an elbow, a forearm, and 5 fingers, including a thumb. Now notice in this photo, the bat's body is actually much smaller compared to the bat's wings. Not all bats are the same size. For instance, the tropical flying foxes are the world's largest bats. They are 16 inches long and weigh as much as 2 pounds. Their open wings can spread across 6 feet. Do you know how big 6 feet is? This is my front door. If you notice, I have a piece of yarn hanging from the top, and it almost reaches the bottom. Now, this is actually a 6-foot piece of yarn. That is how large that one bat's wingspan is. Isn't that crazy? But wait, if there's a largest bat, isn't there a smallest bat too? Let's look. The smallest bat in the world is the bumblebee bats of Thailand. They are about the size of large bees and weigh less than an ounce. Their wingspan is only 5 inches. What does 5 inches look like? 5 inches fits in my hand. It doesn't even cover from the tip of my finger to the base of my palm. Do you see how small that is compared to the door? That's amazing.
So far today, we've looked at several different pictures of bats. Not only have we looked at the pictures, but we've also discovered that bats are mammals. There are different species of bats because we know that the largest bat has a wingspan of 6 feet, and that is a flying fox bat, and then the smallest bat has a wingspan of 5 inches. Now, we've learned all that, but there's one big part that's missing. Does anyone know one thing that we might be missing? I don't know if anyone said it, but bats are nocturnal. That's a very important part to know about bats. Nocturnal means that they come out at night. Like we sleep in the evening and we are up during the day. Bats are the opposite. So they sleep during the daylight and they come out in the evening when it's dark out. Did you know that? Yeah, bats are nocturnal.
Let's look at this poster. It says night senses. Bats are nocturnal. They wake up at night. How do they use their 5 senses? 1. Sight. Bats see with their eyes. This bat looks for food at night. 2. Taste. Bats taste with their tongues. This bat will taste a fruit. 3. Smell. Bats smell with their noses. This bat finds a fruit by smelling it. 4. Hearing. Bats hear with their ears. This bat hears prey in the dark. 5. Touch. Bats touch with their wings. They can feel the wind as they fly. Wow! Bats use 5 senses just like we do, in the same way that we do. Isn't that interesting?
So I noticed in that bats eat fruit, but they also eat other things, such as bugs. I actually like bats because they eat up to 600 mosquitoes in 1 hour. Mosquitoes bite me all the time, so I don't mind that those bats go and eat them. Now, what does 600 mosquitoes look like? Let's see. There's 100 mosquitoes, 200 mosquitoes, 300 mosquitoes, 400 mosquitoes, 500 mosquitoes, and 600 mosquitoes. That is a ton of mosquitoes. Now, that is a lot less mosquitoes that can come bite me. Now, let's look at this laid out and see how many mosquitoes it just looks like all together. That is what 600 mosquitoes look like all together. That's a lot. I think we've learned a lot about bats today, don't you? Now, one more thing I want to do is read a book about bats. It's called Bats by Lily Wood. All right, I'm going to show you the pictures while I read. Bats are interesting animals. There are more than 1,000 types of bats. Bats live all over the world. Bats live in caves. Some bats can be found inside trees. Other bats live in attics. Sometimes bats can even be seen under bridges. Bats sleep upside down. Bats have claws that cling to trees and cave walls. Bats fly, but bats are not birds. Birds have feathers. Bats do not. Bats have fur. Bats are mammals. Bats are the only mammals that fly. Some bats live in small families. Other bats live in large groups. Large or small, these groups are called colonies. Each year, a mother bat usually has one pup. A pup is a baby bat. The mother bat needs to find food for her pup. While the mother bat hunts for food, the pup stays home. Most bats eat bugs or fruit. Some bats drink the sweet juice inside flowers. Bats help farmers. Many catch bugs that eat farmers' crops. Like bees, some bats carry pollen from plant to plant when they rub against them. This helps plants make seeds. Bats use sound to find their way at night. The sound comes back to the bat's ears as an echo. This is called echolocation. Vampire bats bite cows and birds. They drink a tiny bit of blood for food. Long-eared bats fly during the night. They use echolocation to find food when they are hungry. They eat moths, spiders, and other insects. In the winter, some bats migrate. These bats travel to warmer places for the winter. Other bats hibernate. They spend the winter in a cave, a building, or a tree. When a bat hibernates, its heartbeat and breathing slow down. Today, it is hard for bats to find homes. Many trees have been cut down. It is important for people to protect bats and their homes so they do not become extinct. Bats come in all shapes and sizes, no matter where they live. Bats are interesting animals. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Were there any new facts that you learned about bats from that reading that we didn't already discuss in class? Think about at least 2 that you learned. A few of those facts could have been where bats live, that bats hang upside down, that bats migrate, that a bat has a pup, which is a baby bat, and bats use echolocation. Those are just a few of the facts that you could have learned from that book. Now, you have 2 worksheets to look at and complete after you watch this short video of a real black bat flying. Now, really look closely because it's pretty cool how bats fly and move at the snap of a finger. All right, have a great day, class. See you later.